Hello everyone, welcome back to another EdgeStream. It's great to see you all here. Hope you enjoyed those first few opening songs. It's good to see everybody over there in the YouTube chat, in the Rumble chat, and even the Entropy chat. We have Kabooble over in YouTube, writing out the lyrics to Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Great song. Don't know what that means, but appreciate it, buddy. Jason, here to help spread the light. Rick Freedom, Mosh Pit, JD, Ammo C9, Nick Larsher, End Time Wizard, Lucky, all the people over there on YouTube chat. Appreciate you. Lee Stewie, great to see you all. We're live on Rumble too as well. If you guys want to donate to the show at any time in the night, steer the conversation anyway, feel free to do that over on Rumble or on Entropy. Both are great options to do that. See Uncle Kenny over there. In It for Love, Ivy Chevy, Grand Tracer, Tofu TV, giving me some slashes. Appreciate it, buddy. Druidus. It's great to see you all. Lee is over in the Entropy chat. So, yeah, if you guys let me know and make sure that the Entropy chat is going at any given time, because sometimes it goes down. You know how Entropy is, but good to see you all there. Seems like it's working fine for me right now. All right. Yeah. Feel free to chip in anyway if you want. Steer the conversation or just leave a tip. But I have a great show lined up for you guys. I did, in fact, watch the Super Bowl this weekend. Now, a lot of people will be like, in the past, I would have watched the Super Bowl. I would have, been all excited over who was going to win. I want my team to win for X or Y reasons. But in the past, for me, I didn't give a shit about that whatsoever. But now, I was like, maybe I should watch the Super Bowl. Specifically with my girlfriend Lee, because A, it's a fun time. It's a fun thing for me and her to do, but more importantly, we go and investigate all the PSYOPs that are going on, right? Of course, there's going to be lots of PSYOPs going on when you watch the biggest sporting event in American history. Yes, it's the Super Bowl. That's what we're talking about. The Super Bowl. Is it staged? Is it all just fake from the beginning? Is it all rigged? Who knows, right? I don't really think so. I think that they're genuinely trying to win. But at the same time, there is a history of rigged championships in the past. I'm not really going to get into that. I know that happened sometime in the 1920s, like with professional baseball, and it was all tied in with the mafia. I think it's probably happening now. If anybody could prove that, then please do. But even more importantly is the fact that, hey, this is the biggest sporting event. It's like the gladiatorial ring for modern America. And not that they're fighting for anything that's worthwhile. It's all just proxy for like the American psyche, for everybody's emotions, what they really believe in, what they invest their time into. It's a bread and circus, as they say, to distract people from caring about and putting forth any action towards anything that actually matters, right? It's a proxy. It's a proxy. It's a proxy for their religious and spiritual life, instead of caring about Jesus or maybe their race, the bio-spiritual reality of their race, and how Americans were founded upon a European stock. No, that's not something to be proud of. It's your team. Go team. Go black man with a number on his back. That's what America and a lot of Western society has come to. So we're going to be looking into that. I identify as the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, that's right, Lee. That's how these people are. they don't identify as transgender because, no, that would be woke. Oh, you don't want to be woke. Oh, no. But, yeah, you could identify as your favorite sports ball team. Yeah. I see how this is going. Seems like more people are piling in now. You love to see it. Yep. So we're going to be talking about not really the game itself, more so the propaganda that was like deeply ingrained within the event itself, the history of how that works, and especially the advertisements that played and how they tie into like the target audience of the Super Bowl. And the target audience of the Super Bowl, I think, yeah, it's for everyone, but also there's a specific contingent that is more difficult for the mainstream media and the establishment to target, and it's like the middle America red state conservatives, really. They have a way of targeting them through their favorite American pastime, which seems to be football at this point. So we'll see how they target Christianity through that as well. Anyways, things are going to get real edgy tonight, so viewer discretion is advised. All right, good to see everything's working on all platforms. You love to see it. And I have one more housekeeping thing that I want to get out of the way first. For anybody who lives near the Niagara region, whether you live in the States and you live in New York, or you live in Canada, you live in Ontario near the Niagara region, you need to come out to the Danger Cat show this Friday and or Saturday at Yuck Yucks in Niagara Falls. And specifically, you need to come to the Friday at 7 p.m. early show. So, guys, if you've already bought tickets to this, here, let me just throw it up on the screen here. And I'm going to dump it in all of the chats, too, as well. So, basically, come to the Friday, February 16th, 7 p.m. early show for Danger Cats at Yuck Yucks in Niagara Falls. We're all going to be there. Everyone within the area is going to be there at that time who's going to go to the show. And you're going to get to see a special appearance by me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So make sure you come out to that. If you bought a ticket for another show on this whole weekend, because as you can see here, there's 4 shows that you could buy tickets to. Make sure you get it for February 16th at 7 p.m. if you can make it to that show. If you already bought it for another show and you want to come to this one, then do that. So, it's going to be a great time. We're all going to hang out. It's the early show, so we could all hang out after. So, do that. Let's have a fucking blast. Danger Cats are fucking awesome. One of the funniest comedy shows I've ever been to or been a part of in the past. So, yeah. I'm hoping to see any of you who can make it there. I know a bunch of us are already going, like Lee, Rob Primo, Freestone said he was going, Tofu. Many other people, too, have confirmed. So, should be a great time. That's the bread and circus that I have to offer you. Except for I'm not really selling you anything. Except for tickets to this show that you should go and see. But, it's going to be a fun time. You're going to love it. And we're not going to get you to sign up for any gambling websites, which seems to be the main focus of all the NFL advertisements during the Super Bowl. You don't have to gamble your life savings away. You just got to pay for $10 drinks at Yuck Yucks if you want to get drunk during the show, which is quite the catch, but, it's up to you. It's going to be a good time, though. Is Nelson coming? No, my dad is not coming. He lives 2 hours away. However, funny you say that. My dad has planned a new stand-up comedy set about his Parkinson's that he will be doing in Niagara Falls sometime in March. And I've been helping him write his stand-up comedy set. So, Hell in a Handbasket, if you're in the Niagara region, feel free to message me, and I'll make sure that you come out to that Thursday night open mic mayhem show. So, hell yeah. I'm glad you said that. All right. I think we've done all the housekeeping. Let's get into the content. So, like, yeah, as I was saying before, I did watch the Super Bowl. I don't usually watch it, but you know, I felt like, hey, they're gonna be doing all their propaganda. This is like one of the biggest moments of propaganda of the year that the establishment, that the elites do to all the people. This is their main one of their biggest psyops that they have. It probably gets more eyeballs on it, more viewers than any of the debates. Like, people don't care about the elections or any of the stuff. They care about their football. They care about the NBA. They care about things like that. So, I think it was worthwhile watching it, even if not just for the fact that that weekend at all the grocery stores, they had very reduced prices on everything: chicken wings, chicken fingers, chicken bites, just massacring chickens, right? All these chickens that have lived a shitty life, just, stuck up in a coop, and they can't even move, and they're injected with hormones, and led to their inevitable slaughter where they're just fucking decapitated and ripped apart. Oh, well, we gotta eat those at a reduced price when it's Super Bowl weekend because, consumerism, right? It's a great time, and yes, I watched the Super Bowl. I try to learn what this game of foosball, or whatever you call it, is. Trying to understand what all these black men were doing on this field. But, I think I was catching on. It seemed pretty interesting. I didn't like all the stoppages of play. It kind of ruins your mood and your how you engage with the sport when you're watching it. Like, I would definitely prefer to watch hockey like a true Canadian. I'm always entertained and enthralled when watching hockey, even though I don't do it very often. Or even the NBA, If we're talking about African American ball, or Negro ball, as I like to refer to it in a politically correct manner, Negro ball 1, as in basketball, is a lot more entertaining than Negro Ball 2, which is slightly less Negro Ball because they have people like Tom Brady. American football, not as entertaining because the stoppages. There's just too many stoppages, right? Soccer is more entertaining, I think. But anyways, it was interesting. It was a good game. I don't know all the strategies and plays that they're doing. But what we were really looking for was all the propaganda that was being perpetrated all throughout the entirety of the program. And I didn't pay for it. No, I'm not going to pay for any sort of cable. And I assume that many Zoomers and people who are like below the age of 30 or 40, because a lot of people these days, the younger people, they're not homeowners. They don't own cable packages. Who the fuck would pay for a cable package when you're young and you're just like scraping by to survive in many situations? And even if you did have a lot of money, why would you buy cable if you were a young person? Only boomers, Gen Xers, or anyone in that category have cable. Nobody I know signs up for cable. So I had to find some kind of illegal streaming website, and that worked. But at the same time, you have like a chat on the side that just flies down, and it's all just other Zoomers who are also illegally streaming, but they're typing into the chat at the same time. So they'll be like W ad, L ad. W's like wins and losses based on all the things that they're seeing on the screen. They'll make jokes about everything that's going on. There was a lot of people making fun of all the woke bullshit that was going on. So you love to see it. At least these are the more capable Zoomers that are able to, properly, illegally stream something and then comment on it. But anyways, we'll be getting into that, and we'll talk about how, you know, the the very beginning of consumerism happened in America. Because, before industrialization, we didn't have the problem of being bored and and needing to be entertained through all these proxy activities that we're getting into now, right? Like sports, like I need to be a musician. I need to fulfill my artistic creativity. No, most people in the past had to fucking build their own homes, had to have 8 or 9 children families just to make sure that their progeny, that their offspring, made it into the next generation. Because, maybe a quarter of them would die, like, at birth or a few years after birth. But, industrialization changed a lot of things. And now we inevitably came into the modern world, right? But with the introduction of, mass media, obviously the printing press came before it, but radio, television, cinema, with all these things brought the advent of advertisements, right? And what is this world now but one big, gigantic fucking advertisement? By the way, this stream is sponsored by Bud Light. And yes, I know this is the tranny beer. But as we're going to see in a little bit, Bud Light is cool again now. Trust me. Bud Light may have took a huge tank in their stocks. Like, they may have gone down billions because they used tranny activist Dylan Mulvaney as their mascot for a while, and a lot of conservatives started shooting up all their Bud Light cases. But now, don't worry, guys. Bud Light has had a rebranding, and now they're cool, and you're actually not a cool rock star manly man if you don't drink Bud Light like me, okay? So, let's just take a sip of our Bud Lights together, and we'll get into the show. All right, there we have it. Cheers, everyone. Now, I don't think I'm going to get too drunk during the show because this is, once again, it's Bud Light. It's almost water. If I got drunk off a Bud Light during the show, then, I don't know, my reputation would be in the fucking drain because how does that even happen? It's literally water. Isn't that the meme or whatever, though? Anyways, Bud Light, the beer of manly men. Now, no longer the beer of trannies. And you know who taught me how to advertise just as good as I did right there? It was none other than the man himself, Edward Bernays, the forefather of modern consumerism, of modern advertisement. Now, I haven't seen this movie, Century of Self. I remember when I was doing film studies, I fell asleep during my university class during this movie. But now, I really want to go back and watch this whole movie. It's about 4 hours long. So here's about the first 1 or 2 minutes of it, so you could understand the guy who invented modern advertisements back in around the early 1900s. So, he was also the nephew of Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud, the guy who created psychoanalysis, who said that you were all just repressing your sexual urges, and he figured out a way to control all of that. Well, him and his nephew were up to some real, manipulative shit upon the American and European populations. Just all Western peoples were greatly influenced by the antics that these two were up to, and the so-called, it's both, I think, real science, but also pseudoscience that has a political agenda. So, one, the fact that, yes, people do have a lot of, deep sexual and primal urges. Now, I don't think that controls who they are necessarily, But if you could get somebody with power to psychologically manipulate everybody, then yes, you can control those primal urges. And that is where Edward Bernays comes into play. So, let's see a bit of this guy. This is from the movie Century of the Self. In fact, you can find the whole thing on YouTube. But I'll just show you a bit of this for now.
A new theory about human nature was put forward by Sigmund Freud. He had discovered, he said, primitive sexual and aggressive forces hidden deep inside the minds of all human beings. Forces which, if not controlled, led individuals and societies to chaos and destruction. This series is about how those in power have used Freud's theories to try and control the dangerous crowd in an age of mass democracy. At the heart of the story is not just Sigmund Freud, but other members of the Freud family. This episode is about Freud's American nephew, Edward Bernays. Bernays is almost completely unknown today, but his influence on the 20th century was nearly as great as his uncle's. Because Bernays was the first person to take Freud's ideas about human beings and use them to manipulate the masses. He showed American corporations for the first time how they could make people want things they didn't need by linking mass-produced goods to their unconscious desires. Out of this would come a new political idea of how to control the masses. By satisfying people's inner selfish desires, one made them happy and thus docile. It was the start of the all-consuming self, which has come to dominate our world today.
Oh no, looks like a pretty good movie. I doubt they're going to go all the way with, how these influences have permeated throughout our society, who are the architects behind it, and what their common denominator is. I don't think they're going to get into that. No, I don't. Especially if it's an award-winning documentary with 3 million views on YouTube. But at least it's a start, right? Because it tells you what is happening, at least in regards to like the psychological manipulation and advertisements and all that. So, seems like a good movie to watch. And this man, Edward Bernays,
was nearly as great.
Hold on. Things are glitching a little bit here. Yes, Edward Bernays. He is known as the father of public relations in fields such as public relations. In fact, he created the notion of public relations in propaganda, which, hey, that sounds to me like you have copes and excuses for what you're doing. Why can't you just say what you're doing forthright and out front? But no, you have public relations, right? You have to know how to relate to the public and strategize about how to do that. I understand, but of course, that just leaves the whole concept is open to manipulation, right? His best-known campaigns include a 1929 effort to promote female smoking by branding cigarettes as feminist torches of freedom, and his work for the United Fruit Company in the 1950s connected with the CIA-orchestrated overthrow of the democratically elected Guatemalan government in 1954. And he worked for dozens of American corporations, Procter & Gamble, General Electric, government agencies, politicians, non-profit organizations. So yes, he is the forefather of modern advertisements. Nephew of Sigmund Freud, the psychoanalyst, the what do you call it? A psychoanalyst? Yeah. And furthermore, Mark Randolph, one of the CEOs of Netflix, is the great nephew of Edward Bernays. So that might give a little insight into who is controlling the minds of people in America and throughout the rest of the Western Hemisphere. But let's move on to the Super Bowl. I don't really care about who won and who did what, but there is a conspiracy going on, if we're going to talk about PSYOPs, that Biden was just trolling about Taylor Swift NFL conspiracy theorists after the Super Bowl. And this is where Dark Brandon comes into play, so I'll throw this up here. So this at least gives an explanation for what the hell senile Joe Biden was doing when he posted this. Hold on. So on X, he posted, "Just like we drew it up," and he has the red accelerationist eyes beaming out of his head, and he says, "Just like we drew it up." And, you know, I thought it was fucking hilarious. Now, just for clarification, this red eyes meme was created by, like, the most hardcore artistic accelerationists. I'm pretty sure it was Dark Foreigner in Canada, a guy who's now in jail, has been arrested for terrorism charges. I'm pretty sure that he is the one who created this red eyes meme. But I don't think that makes Joe Biden a terrorist, though I think he's a terrorist for other reasons. But I love that he's embracing a right-wing meme. I think it's really funny. But yes, this is one of the conspiracy theories that has been going around. I don't really think so. I think that's just easy bait for him to troll people back and then to overreact over him doing this and using some humor. However, Dark Brandon may actually be a thing. You know, let's go Biden, let's go Brandon. Well, it seems like Brandon is getting pretty fed up over some of the people that he has to be subservient towards. And that specifically is Bibi Netanyahu. Yes, Uncle Bibi, the Prime Minister of Israel. So, Biden is reportedly fed up with Netanyahu, calling him an asshole over the management of the war. You know, he's telling his confidants that he's getting really pissed off at Uncle Bibi. You know, he's been expressing his exasperation in private conversation, even calling him an asshole. But he's not about to make any major policy changes. You know, he says, apparently 5 people directly familiar with his comments have corroborated it. And it's over the fact that Bibi they have an inability to persuade Israel to change its military tactics in Gaza. So, you know, Trump had his shithole countries moment. Now Biden has his Bibi is an asshole comment. Now, that's pretty obvious. Anybody with a brain could tell you that. But I guess this is just a bit of Dark Brandon rising right now. So, I don't know. Hopefully the schism goes further, because they're all fucking trash. And of course, Bibi is going way too far, as he always is. Israel is just a criminal nation, like, first and foremost. And during the Super Bowl, while all of that was capturing the American people's attention, Israel just launched a new attack on Palestinians. And how many civilians died this time in a day? 95 civilians, nearly half of them children. were killed in 4 unlawful strikes in Rafah. And it took place in a place that was supposed to be safe. You know, they were told to go to that place to avoid getting killed, and then they got killed over there. But of course, as we'll see later on, that during the Super Bowl, they played tons of ads that were all about stop anti-Semitism. Meanwhile, Palestinians are getting bombed the fuck out and children are getting killed. So that's just how they operate. That's how the Zionist occupied government and controlled media operates. But anyways, that's all real shit. That's real shit right there. Let's go to my man Stu Peters. You know I love Stu Peters. I'm 100% Stu Crew. Whenever I go on his page, I will get great information mixed with some pure conjecture and innuendo towards different conspiracies. So you gotta love it. It's always interesting. He is the new Alex Jones, and he goes further than Alex Jones when addressing conspiracies that are very taboo. So I really appreciate that. So Stu Peters here is implying that I guess the NFL is just rigged, including the way that they walk down the field. So there was a screenshot of Kels Hurts Swift. So there's a guy named Hurts so Kels is the guy that is dating Taylor Swift, and that has been a huge influencer media mainstream media talking point. Like, oh my god, will Taylor Swift's boyfriend win the Super Bowl? And I don't know, there's a guy named Hurts apparently. There's also a guy named Gay, which is funny. So maybe we need to line him up with one of these guys. Like, I am gay. That would be epic. That would be quite the PSYOP that I would appreciate. But anyways, instead we have Kels Hurts Swift. Apparently there's a guy with the last name Swift. So is this all organized, completely orchestrated? What is going on? Are we living in a simulation? Please elaborate further, Mr. Peters. But anyways, I appreciate it. What I do know is that all the ads that were going on during the Super Bowl, as Stu Peters points out, sorry, wrong one. They are indeed anti-white. Jesus Christ. Yes, of course. As is the new trend within advertisements, every couple has to be interracial. Every smart person who is the head of the company has to be a black woman who is condescending to the stupid white man that is coming to them for help. You know, maybe he's farting too much. Maybe he needs to use his dude wipes to properly wipe his butt, and the intelligent black woman is going to teach him how to do it. Whatever it is, you see it nonstop, right? And maybe if it happened every once in a while, you would think, oh, okay, this is just a coincidence. But the coincidences, they just keep on stacking up, right? And it's no longer a coincidence at this point. It's a very manufactured and deliberate agenda. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let your own eyes fool you, because your eyes aren't lying to you. Really. Now, insofar as celebrities, I think they're trying to push this new celebrity onto us. It's called an Ice Spice. So this is, if you're wondering what an Ice Spice is, I think this person described pretty well what it is, what an Ice Spice is. Hold on. Now, somebody said something funny to me last week. They said, I go out of my way to not know these things, Edgy. Well, that's why I have to teach you, so that you can know what you need to hate in order for you to know what you are opposed to, right? So you could further define your own identity. But anyways, I'll tell you what the fuck even is an Ice Spice. Ice Spice is Taylor's diversity friend. Having a white-only entourage is not socially acceptable, even for Taylor Swift. So she found a Down syndrome black friend to meet the diversity requirements. I think that is a pretty accurate way to describe her. But anyways, when the camera's panned onto her, they pan the camera onto people and it comes up on the big Jumbotron. So during that, they claimed that this moment was iconic. I don't really think so. Probably because Taylor Swift chugged a beer once she saw she was on it. But then this mongoloid, Ice Spice, I don't know, if she's having an autism fit, trying to like autistically be cool and be like a rapper, and be like, yo, whoa, and do like autistic gang hand signs, or if she's trying to signal to the devil or some shit, because she does have an upside down cross on her neck that she does touch up on after. So let's watch this quick and try to figure out what the fuck is going on here. Sponsored by Bud Light. She does it twice. Or is it the same clip? Okay, it's the same clip. Okay. Well, anyone who's familiar with all the conspiracies about the Illuminati knows that doing these kinds of figure hand signs, that's devil's horns, yada yada yada, Freemasonry, Satanism, Lucifer, whatever. I don't know I don't know how to explain it exactly. But she also has the upside down cross, which she starts pulling on as if to bring more attention to it. Now, I think there's a few different explanations for it, but I think the most likely explanation is that she's now friends with Taylor Swift. She's at the top of the Illuminati pyramid, or near the top. She's nearing the top. She wasn't before. Now, this fucking weird bitch, she's known for making a song about everybody wanting to eat her pussy. Yes, this is like worse than Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or any of these other people. Her song that got her famous was called Munch. And it was a horrible song. Like, it didn't even sound good. And me, as a person who likes a lot of rap music, knew it was terrible. But it was just about how all the guys want to munch. They want to get a munch on her pussy, ostensibly. Yeah, all the guys want to eat your pussy, and yeah, they're all dying to eat your pussy. And it created a bit of a PSYOP where, in popular culture, all these guys would run up to her and be like, yo, Ice Spice, can I get a munch? She'd be like, nah. It's that bad. This is that bad. I know people are saying, Edgy, I go out of my way to not know these things. Why are you telling me them? Because you need to know what is going on in mainstream society to know how bad it is, and to know where the PSYOPs are coming from and how they work. And this is how it works too. This shameless individual who is now Taylor Swift's diversity hire mongoloid friend, like she's black mixed with a bit of everything, she's the Illuminati, she's the Kalergi's favorite Frankenstein superstar, right? Totally degenerate, ambiguous race, so it could apply to any consumer, right? And, now she's throwing up devil hand signs, and pulling on her upside down Jesus piece, right? And what I think this is her trying to signal on the Jumbotron that, hey, any advertisers or, media CEOs or whoever is on top, look at me. I'm willing to do anything. I'm down with the cause, you know. I don't have any morals or scruples whatsoever. So, whatever you need me to promote, I'll help you make all the money you want to make, and you just make me all the money that I want. I don't have any morals. That's what I think is going on there. I think that's a good take. You know, maybe she is sacrificing babies to Satan with Hillary Clinton, and, you know, Taylor Swift is rubbing one off while it's happening. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's at the bottom of, in the basement of Comet Ping Pong Pizza. I don't know. But I think what I just described is probably the most likely scenario, and that's why she's doing it. I think the good doctor, Dr. Ricardo Duchesne, here in Canada, the last great professor at a university who's written many books, including Canada in Decay, he has a good take on Ice Spice. In fact, he's been going pretty hard on her lately. Elijah Schaefer said, people are saying Ice Spice is the most attractive woman of 2023. Do you agree? And yeah, this is it without its makeup. And the great doctor himself says she epitomizes, because he has like a Spanish accent, she epitomizes mongrelization of US. So he's not pulling any punches. Now, this is something he posted before that I commented on, and I agree as well. He said, non-whites can really be ugly when they pretend to be beautiful. She looks like an under-earth amphibian insect. Oh, shit, man. Where's my...
No, 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 no.
Oh, no. I think he deleted this. But of course, I replied, can confirmed. And if we look at these back to back, you look at the eyes, you look at the face, and you look at this. I typed in amphibian insect. And yes, I think we can confirm that they are one and the same. This is the same guy. Yep. All right. That's another W for the good doctor. Dr. Ricardo Duchesne, author of Canada in Decay. Anyways, I think he's onto something in that they like to promote these weird, shameless people who are willing to promote anything. And she was in one of the Super Bowl ads, too, with one of her ex-boyfriends crying over her, like in an M&M's commercial or something retarded like that, implying that she is like the epitome of what we should all be attracted to. Nope. Sorry, that's an amphibian insectoid. You're not gonna fool me, Edward Bernays. I ain't falling for that shit. Well, it's been a while since I looked into the chat. What are people thinking about the Ice Spice? Are people mad that I introduced you guys to her? You would have rather gone your whole lifetime without knowing what a nice spice is? It's the devil. Okay. Thanks. I hate it. I'm just gonna sip my Bud Light while my computer loads up the Rumble and Entropy chat. Good to see you over there, Diagoyam. Oh, we got the Rumble chat working. Mongrelization. I know it. I don't know if that's a politically correct term, but it's a correct term. Kaleno is saying they're too dumb to be that calculating. Yeah, I don't think that they're like plotting each individual, like, oh, these people are going to be stationed with their jerseys like Travis Kels, Hurts, Swift or whatever. That's ridiculous. I think it is a good metaphor. Like, even Stu Peters posting that is a good metaphor to describe what is going on. That it is all fake in some sense, though. So I do think it is interesting in that regard. And I am open to the possibility that some of these people are even like throwing the game in some respect, because that did happen in the 1920s or the 1910s in the Major League Baseball leagues, because they were rigged with the help of the mafia and whatnot. And there was huge betting going on, and people, like, if some of the players are in deep with these gambling cartels, then they may be killed if they don't throw the game or they don't do this or that. It happens in boxing, in professional fighting associations all the time. So who knows? Who knows? I don't have any evidence either way, and I don't really care as of yet, unless somebody picks up the ball on that. You know, someone gets an interception on that conspiracy and they run all the way to the end zone with it and they touchdown, then I'll pick up on that. Till then, that's not where I'm going to direct my attention towards. So make sure you guys do go check out the good doctor, Dr. Ricardo Duchesne. Let me see if I could find his site. Yeah. So if you guys didn't know his site, Eurocanadians.ca. Oh, our good buddy Michael Klassen. Great dude. He has a new article there. The prison notes of Cornelio Cordruno. What stands... I don't even know what that is. But apparently he's a legionary movement of all the nationalist leaders in the early 20th century. But he's a great dude. Big supporter of us. So, yeah. He's the featured post on Eurocanadians.ca, Ricardo Duchesne's site. So check that out. Anyways, let's get into some more propaganda. Hell yeah. Let's get into some of the ads, okay? Or no, first and foremost, let's just see the average person who gave $8, $9, $10, $11, $12,000 to attend these games. Now, unless these people themselves are like multi-millionaires and they could afford something like this, then this is just a complete... This is one of the most utter wastes of money and completely irresponsible, to the point where it's like negligent and harmful to their whole family. If they spent this much money on it and they don't have like millions and millions of dollars.
How much did you spend on your Super Bowl tickets? 13 grand. $10,000.
9,000 a ticket. It's a lifelong dream of mine to be here. I'm a little emotional. My dad did this for my birthday. 8,500 a piece. I actually got my ticket for free.
Cost 8,000.
Chad.
For my birthday. 8,500 a piece. I actually got my ticket for free.
Cost
Chad.
8,000. Was it worth it? Are you excited to be here? Oh my god, yes.
I didn't have to. I know a guy that knows the guy.
This guy with the pit vipers. Oh, yeah. That's the only way you should be attending the Super Bowl. If you got in for free or with no effort on your end. If not, you just gave like your life savings away for the biggest PSYOP, for the biggest money waste. And if that gives you the self-worth and like the fulfillment that you needed, in that money you feel like it was worth it to you, but you sacrifice so much of your personal wealth for that, then you really need to rethink your priorities. Because holy shit, imagine what your children could have done with $8,000 to get into university. You know, to be able to afford rent if they're in trouble for any reason whatsoever. No, this is not it. This is not it.
How much did you spend on your Super Bowl tickets? 13 grand. $10,000.
9,000 a ticket. It's a lifelong...
Well, anyways, those are your average... Well, that's not your average Super Bowl watcher, because that's somebody who aspires to go to the Super Bowl. A lot of them have money, but Your average Super Bowl watcher, that's the average American. And I can't even make fun of them. I'm not even going to go in depth on, criticizing that kind of person, because a lot of these people are the people who are the backbone of America. They're not the parasites. They're the ones who are working to the bone, and then when they get home, they drink a couple beers and they eat the cheese and they watch TV. And yes, they are complicit in the downfall of our country and our society because they are not politically engaged or aware, easily manipulatable. But, it's not who I'm going to focus on necessarily in this stream. But insofar as Super Bowl ads, which we're going to get into in a second, I found this old Super Bowl ad. It's probably the first highly produced Super Bowl ad that has ever been played. And this is in 1984. So this is an Apple Macintosh commercial, so Apple computers, back in 1984, and it was produced by Ridley Scott. Yes, Ridley Scott of Alien, Gladiator, Napoleon, many other different movies. Fantastic director. So let's see what he put as one of the first big Super Bowl ads in history, and has become like kind of a staple in the Super Bowl that they have all these ads.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the information purification directives. We have created for the first time in all history a
Ironically, it's themed off of the movie 1984.
garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion.
The first PSYOP is a woman being able to throw a sledgehammer. I'm calling Fugazi on that.
We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Oh, there's so much to comment on that. So, Apple computers will prove that 1984 won't be like 1984, the book, the book or the movie. Apple computers will make it so that the surveillance state will be able to easily take all of your data and know exactly who you are if they really wanted to do anything about it, first and foremost. However, at the same time, I do agree with them that, it'll be less like 1984 in that the control of information will not be so centralized. Like before the invention of the internet and the personal computer, the mainstream media would have almost full control of what most people were seeing, and you couldn't just go look up on the internet to find alternative information. And even so, like nowadays, that's pretty hard. You have to know what you're looking for because they'll flood the algorithms and they'll demote searches for things that they don't agree with, and then they'll also promote searches for things that smear and supposedly debunk things that they disagree with. But at the end of the day, the invention of the computer, it did bring massive surveillance upon all people. So we are more in 1984 than ever, but at the same time, we're able to counter 1984 more than ever. So it's like a double-edged sword. It is what it is, and you gotta be on the side of good, and you gotta have a warrior spirit to fight for the good side of technology and progress. Because technology and progress is gonna go forward with or without you, and they're gonna surveil and take all your information whether you like it or not. So you got to know how to counter that by knowing technology and be able to use technology to your advantage in order to be able to name the people who are doing these sorts of things. But it's a fascinating commercial and very ironic, and I don't even know what else to say about this. It's perfect. I'll have a Bud Light to it.
A garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on Earth.
Here to help spread the light said it's like opening Pandora's box. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad, but a lot of power that emanates once you open the box.
We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
And I'm sure there's a million other things you could say about Apple and how their logo there was rainbow and, you know, Apple, the snake, the apple in the Garden of Eden. It's like the forbidden knowledge that the snake told Adam to eat, or that the snake convinced Eve to tell Adam to eat, and, you know, all this meta-political, meta-religious iconography that is going on there. Yes, that may very well be part of it. It's part of our like collective consciousness or universal understanding of, you know, our popular myths and whatnot. So these things are very deeply ingrained in us, and I feel like these people know what they're doing when they use these symbols, when they do these commercials, and when they try to tap into our emotions in the way that they do, right? So let's get into some of the commercials over the Super Bowl. This is where the real fun is going to be, and we'll probably go for another hour or two just with this alone. So I think I need to crack another Bud Light because we're about to get into the Bud Light portion of this. I'm sorry. I gotta open another one, crack another one open. Good. It's good. I've been drinking this Bud Light for a bit now, and the estrogenic components within this beverage have not made it so that I can't twist off the cap with my increasingly feminine strength from drinking these phytoestrogens. So I'm still good. I haven't gone too deep down the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light rabbit hole yet. So we're good for now. So I'll cheers to that. Drink up, boys. And of course, I'm just laughing at, you know, the slight hypocrisies that we all have. Like, I wouldn't normally watch the Super Bowl, but it was a reason to indulge for me, and that's what I liked about it. It was a reason to have fun with my girlfriend, and then I made use of it in order to analyze the propaganda that came out of it. But now I'm drinking Bud Light, which is also not good, but, you know, we can only strive to be better and to alleviate our vices one by one to the point where we can make ourselves better human beings in the future. So that's what I want for everybody at the end of the day. So I'm not condoning this, but it is what it is. Hey, you know what? I just want to be a manly man, okay? I want to be a manly man, and I want to drink the Bud Light, okay? Ooh, I want to be a cool, super cool, manly rock star. You want to see what I'm saying right now? You want to... You don't know? Bud Light is cool now. Bud Light is cool. Okay? This was one of the Super Bowl ads. And I saw this live, so I'm not making this up. The Bud Light is just shaking. It's magical. It's magically shaken in the fridge. It's calling to you, brother. It's calling to you. The alcoholism is calling to you. It's shaking. It's glowing. It's you. You're gonna be a better person once you drink that alcohol. Trust me. Trust Mr. Bernays, okay? You're gonna be a better man. You're not a man. You're not cool like them other rock stars unless you drink the Bud Light, which is shining and shaking in your fridge, baby. You're just a flubby overweight. Your girlfriend doesn't even like you. Yeah, your girlfriend thinks you're a loser, but once you drink that Bud Light, okay. Let's go.
Are you the Bud Light genie? Yeah. So we get wishes? It's my thing. Gimme.
80s metal hair.
Yes.
Filthy rich.
So filthy. Invisible.
Oh.
Predictable. Giant bicep.
Hell yeah.
Big one.
Sorry, this is in 240p. Let's get it to 1080.
Sports car?
Stretch it.
Oh, let's rock.
What's next? Bud Light?
My Bud Light is really cool. If I didn't drink it, I'd be a fool.
I wish Peyton Manning was
Yeah.
my best friend.
What we doing?
Hey.
Oh, Post Malone.
Hey. I wish I could breathe fire. I'm a genie.
Gemini.
I'm a genie.
Well, look at you.
Nope.
Oh, good boy.
Ostrich race. Fun. With Post Malone. You're toast.
I'm gonna race ostriches with Post Malone and Invisible Man if I drink the Bud Light.
Yes.
Yes! Yes, Daddy.
Another bicep. House party.
Whoa, wait.
Yes. He's gonna need
What is
another.
this? What is this? Sorry, I think this Bud Light is gonna make me throw up. What? No, kidding.
Ostrich race. Fun. With Post Malone. You're toast.
Let's go to a big fight.
Yes. He's gonna need another.
So now we have a cool fighting man, bald fighting man, Dana White. Now it's badass. Now Bud Light is badass. This guy, this black man with his huge bicep. Ooh, so cool. I'm glad I have a Bud Light. Oh, fuck. I'm so glad I could be a part of this with my Bud Light.
Bicep. House party. Definitely. Let's go!
Oh, T-Rex? Oh, yeah!
Super Bowl 58?
Based. All right, so yeah, Bud Light, not gay anymore, guys. Cool now, cool now. Bud Light is cool now. All right, you know what? I'm not buying it. I think this is like some hyper masculine cope. Like this is all consumerism too, right? This is Edward Bernays, the Jew. It's the Jew trying to compensate and be like, oh, looks like, oy vey, looks like we tanked our stocks and now all the conservatives like Kid Rock are shooting up all the Bud Light cans and this is not good for Anheuser-Busch. Oh no, oy vey. So now they're trying to rebrand Bud Light to make it look cool. But you know what? This is fucking pathetic. This is like, hello, fellow American, don't you want to be a manly football watcher? No. You know what? I think they should go back to the old sorry. I think they should go back to the old Bud Light commercials that they were doing. I think that they were at least slightly more dignified. Fuck. Give me a second. Yeah, I think this was slightly more dignified when they were doing this. the Chad Dylan Mulvaney tranny bubble bath with Bud Light. This is more manly than that cope that I just saw, okay? I'm sorry. Conservatives are gonna cope and seethe, but at least this person, Dylan Mulvaney, can take hate and criticism better than a so-called conservative who folds at the first sight that something might be actually racial or something might be actually controversial. No, I don't know. And also, so first of all, W. Dylan Mulvaney, but also, the inherent misogyny of Bud Light's old mascot, who they threw under the bus. Like, oh, now they're going to be all macho after promoting this. Right? So, all these femoids and conservatives who wipe their ass with dude wipes and drink Black Rifle coffees while fucking their transgender boy wives. They say, he's making a mockery out of women for monetary gain. And I say, yeah, based. Seethe harder, femoids. And then look at the based tranny Dylan Mulvaney. Making a mockery out of women. This is how women look on a regular basis, by the way. Look at how stupid they are. He's doing an excellent parody on women. So if you complain about him making a mockery out of you as a woman, then just understand that you look like this on a regular basis. So look into a mirror, bitch. Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light is my Bud Light. And I'll cheers to that. All right. That's commercial number 1. Did I lose half of my viewership with that one? Are all the roasties coping and seething in the chat? All the single moms coping and seething in the chat? I don't know. I'll have to check. East Coast Canadian says the ad worked. You bought some. Yeah, hell yeah, I bought some. Hold on. All my different tabs are taking forever to load, so I'll be back in a second. And I'll cook up the next ad for you. I think it's going to be the RFK Jr. ad. So all the ads that I've prepared for you guys, there's a lot of good ones. So there's the Bud Light ad. We just went through that. There's the RFK Jr. ad. There's the Pluto TV ad. There's a Jeff Goldblum ad for apartments.com. Then we get into the big, like, PSYOP ads, which is the feet washing ad, which is the Christ cuck evangelical Zio Christian ad, and then the straight up stand up to Jewish hate ads. So we'll get into all of that. It's gonna get good from here on in. Lee is saying I should recreate this. I'm sorry, Lee. Anything that could help me hate on women, I'm going to do publicly. Just know that you're my special exception. That's me trying to do a heart, but yeah, there we go. Dylan is so based. Turn up the heat, Edgy. Yeah. Motherfuck, yeah. Alright. Alright. Let's get into the RFK Jr. ad. This is just completely retarded, and I have no idea why anyone would have paid this amount of money for it to be an advertisement at the Super Bowl, especially considering RFK Jr.'s response.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through? A man who's old enough to know
And young enough to do.
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
American Value 2024 is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
The guy literally talks like this in a voice box. I don't know why you think he would be a good president. Also, he cocks to the Jews. He got in trouble some time ago because he said that like COVID seems to be like the specifics of the COVID virus are more deadly specifically against Jews. No, specifically against everybody but Jews and the Chinese. Like they have a special immunity to it. And he doesn't know if that was like orchestrated or not. So they're like, oh my god, he has horrible anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about COVID. So he paid dearly for that. Because Robert F. Kennedy Jr., his thing has always been like anti-vax, right? Even before COVID. And then once the COVID thing happened, they nailed him on saying that like COVID affects people who are Jewish and Chinese less, like almost as if it's biological. Or I don't know if it was COVID or if it was the vaccines. But one of the two, basically. And they considered what he said as a complete conspiracy theory. I probably agree with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. there. I probably agree that he was right about whatever he was saying, but they were railroading him. But the thing about RFK Jr., he has the spine of a fucking jellyfish. So even after that ad was played at the Super Bowl, he says, I'm so sorry if the Super Bowl advertisement caused anyone in my family pain. The ad was created and aired by the American Values Super PAC without any involvement or approval from my campaign. FEC rules prohibit Super PACs from consulting me or my staff. I love you all. God bless. I'm gonna fucking throw up. Like, what a fucking pathetic cucking presidential candidate. That is your presidential candidate? That is fucking pathetic. Now, this happened like a week or two ago. He was on Dave Smith, based Libertarian Dude's podcast, and this is how he responded when asked about Israel. So, RFK Jr. freezes up into a long, awkward pause after being asked about Israeli influence in politics. He knows there's no way to justify it other than to pretending not to notice. So, let's see this apologetic husk of a man.
Do you have concerns about the level of Israeli influence in our politics here in the United States of America?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
That wasn't like a connection difference. And Dave Smith's face, where he starts nodding his head, indicates as much.
I'm not a politician in political office, so I don't see much of that.
Do you have concerns about...
His voice box is really acting up now. Oy vey. Well, I don't blame him as much because it seems like the mafia killed his great uncle. And Vincent James did an excellent video explaining it. So we'll play that and then we'll get into we'll play that and then we'll get into the next commercial. And the next commercial is, just to keep you on your heels for when you come back, it's gonna be Pluto TV ad, then we have a Jeff Goldblum ad, then we have the most prominent ads that are all about, end Jewish hate or wash the feet of all migrants and refugees if you are indeed a Christian. Those are the next ads that we'll be covering. But in the meantime, let's get red-pilled about JFK.
You can't talk about the Kennedy assassination without talking about Israel, without talking about the Messiah. They're the main people involved. That's the main group involved. The Prime Minister of Israel at the time said that without nuclear weapons, Israel would not survive. Kennedy was asking for neutral scientists to observe the reactor. He continued to push for this with CIA Director McCone and finally was granted access. Israel, prior to the visit, set up a fake control room with fake control panels, and part of the agreement was that the inspectors were never going to be able to inspect the actual reactor. After that visit, Kennedy was quoted in saying, "Those sons of bitches lie to me constantly about their nuclear capability." The Jewish community invites JFK to come to Dallas, which was sponsored by the Dallas Citizens Council, which was directed by Julia Sheps, who was a member of the local B'nai B'rith organization, the ADL B'nai B'rith, once again. A confirmed member of the local B'nai B'rith as well, Abraham Zapruder, was also just so happened to be the guy that caught the assassination on film. Zapruder was also a manufacturer headquartered in the Dallas Textiles building. According to ballistic studies, it was from that building the first two shots were fired and missed. The building was owned by David Weisblatt, one of the biggest financiers of the Anti-Defamation League, and Douglas Jaffe, one of the biggest donors to Lyndon B. Johnson. The host committee that invited Kennedy to the event in Dallas was chaired by a guy named Sam Bloom. According to Dallas police, it was Bloom who pushed the hardest for the police to transfer Lee Harvey Oswald from the Dallas police station to the Dallas County Jail. Now, it was during that transfer that Jack Ruby shot Oswald. What was Jack Ruby's real last name? Jakob Rubinstein. The reactor went critical right after Kennedy died, and they got the bomb a year or two later. That's kind of a coincidence, isn't it? That's kind of a strange coincidence. Kennedy dies, Israel gets the bomb. Gets the bomb.
وهكذا قتل كندي بسبب مفاعل ديمونة وصراره على تفتيشه.
So there you have it. That is what RFK Jr. is so afraid of. Well, what other kind of ads are they playing?
This is Pluto TV country. Here on this farm, we grow couch potatoes.
This one's actually pretty good.
This is Pluto TV country. Here on this farm, we grow couch potatoes. Couch potatoes grow big and strong here, fed with the finest content from Pluto TV. Thousands of TV shows and movies for free.
You just open the app, something great will be on. I love Star Trek.
I love romance, but I also love murder. I like romantic murders.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Cats 24/7 channel.
I love Ink Master.
This is literally us.
I like anything where a hot person throws a glass of wine at another hot person.
We're living in a golden age of television.
Looks like that Pluto TV romance channel's got those taters right in their feelings. Got you too, huh?
You just can't beat that type of on-screen chemistry.
Oh, this country was raised on TV. TV that was easy. TV that was free. Pluto TV is TV the way it's supposed to be.
Well, there you have it. Pluto TV just trolling the masses with the fact that everybody is just a bunch of couch potatoes, that they're growing them, that they're literally growing, they're literally seeding the lives in order to be cropped up and harvested for all their financial reckonings, okay? Yeah. I'm gonna make it sound as grim as I could possibly make it sound, but yeah, no, it's kind of a funny commercial, but it laughs in the face of everybody.
Romance channel's got those taters right in their feelings. Got you too, huh?
You just can't beat that type of on-screen chemistry.
And imagine simping and crying over TV shows that much. Now, like, art is one thing, like, loving art and loving TV shows or loving your favorite podcast. That's one thing, but don't let it control you. And that's all I have to say about that. I don't think this commercial is necessarily harmful, but it is very meta-political, and it's very like behind the scenes of the Wizard of Oz, where they like peel back the curtains and you see what they're actually doing.
Thousands of TV shows and movies.
And it's like, do you want to be a couch potato?
I love Star Trek.
I love romance, but I also love murder.
Do you want to be that couch potato?
Cats 24/7 channel.
I love Ink Master.
Pluto TV just gets me.
I like anything where a hot person.
It's okay to be a couch potato for some part of your life, you know, to relax, to enjoy some good creativity, some good content, but no. Don't make it your lifestyle.
Oh, this country
And
was
don't
raised on
make
TV.
it your cope.
TV that was easy. TV that was free.
Don't make it your drug, and don't make it be the thing that's your downfall because you didn't stand up, because you had your bread and circus, you had your TV show, and you were content. And then you didn't do anything with your life. Don't let it be like that. Alright, here's another one. And now I might be stretching a little bit when I try to say that this specific commercial may be malevolent. Am I out of line to say that there's something up with this fucking commercial over here?
Why are you here? State your purpose.
To find a place to rent. I know renters when I see them.
Who is this guy?
It's the top priority when you move to a new city or galaxy. Apartments.com. We can help you get into a lovely 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom. I don't want to presume anything. I like these guys. Apartments.com.
So it's a really funny commercial.
To find a place to rent. I know renters when I see them.
Who is this guy?
It's the top priority when you move to a new city or galaxy. Apartments.com. We can help you get into a lovely 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom. I don't want to presume anything.
So alien number 1 wants a 2-bedroom for when his mom visits. Alien number 2 said, let's make it a 1-bedroom.
I like these guys.
So hilarious. Second alien doesn't want the mom to visit. He wants to make it so that it's uncomfortable for his parents to visit. It's a funny commercial, but what's the underlying theme here is that there's these fucking disgusting aliens trying to get rentals in this place, and what do we have here?
Zoom anything? Apartment. Sorry, I know renters when I see.
Why are you
Let's go.
here? State your purpose.
So the fascist police with all these medals, like the people who would know best about what the fuck are these aliens doing invading our space. And then Jeff Goldblum, he's a spokesman for letting them in. He's gonna let them in. It's okay. I know how to deal with these people. I know how to integrate them. And this guy is wearing the hat like he's in the fucking SS. So, these are the really subtle things that they do in commercials where it's like, this guy is clearly the fascist, but apartments.com wants you to know that you could get anybody situated in an apartment. Don't worry about it. Like, well, what about in Canada? When you have Indians who are putting like 25 people to a house, and then there's people living in cars in the driveway, where they say that it's $400 per bed within one bedroom, and then there's 3 beds within the same room. That's fucking disgusting. That's illegal. But they're allowed to get away with it because we have invited so many of these people in. We've accepted them in. We have so many Jeff Goldblums, like this based black man, this based black Nazi right here, has the right idea. He has guns aimed at these fucking alien predators that are trying to invade our countries. And he is saying, what the fuck are you doing? Right? But then Jeff Goldblum.
Place to rent. I know renters when I see them.
Who is this?
Oh, I know renters when I see them.
New city or galaxy. Apartments.com. We can help.
Very funny. Very funny. I know renters when I see them. I know a greasy ass landlord when I see one, okay? Especially in Canada. A greasy ass landlord, especially in Montreal. You can see a lot of landlords like him who have special hats usually. Okay, Mr. Goldblum. Let's do an early life check on that. I didn't even need to, but I did anyways. But you see what I'm getting at how subtle propaganda can be, right? It was a funny commercial. I liked it. It had a good joke in it, but the underlying implications, it just amplifies our current situation, especially here in Canada, where we cannot afford to bring anybody else in here. And something like apartments.com, we have room for everybody. No, we don't. Leave. Go home. No, fuck off. That's what's going on there. There's also like a huge alien theme that was going on in the Super Bowl too, where it seemed like they were trying to promote some kind of alien invasion like it would be good. Like, oh, the alien invasion is going to be good. So I don't know whether they're like trying to say, hey, like alien immigrants are good to come in, like with this commercial with Jeff Goldblum there. Or if they're trying to say, like, hey, we are going to do a big alien PSYOP so that in the future you're going to believe that aliens exist in the context that we provide these aliens to you. No, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Who knows? I know over on Rumble we have a super chat from Snowtrout Underground saying, I have money. I want you to take this money. Here's money. Oh, well, thank you for this money. Thank you for this money. I really appreciate it. And cheers to you as well. we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna get into the most controversial ads that were played during the Super Bowl, and that's how we're gonna wrap it up tonight. So first, we're gonna get into the Super Bowl feet washing advertisements. Now, it costs like millions of dollars to get into Super Bowl advertisements, like at least 10, 20, 30, 40 million dollars to get an advertisement played during the Super Bowl. Probably more than $40 million for anything good or anything decent. So how do you even begin to get to that if you're not like one of the biggest companies in the world? One of the companies that I saw over and over again was Temu. Temu. What the fuck is Temu? Temu seems like some kind of fucking Chinese company, like an Alibaba type company, like a Wish, like a Chinese Wish. I already thought that Wish was Chinese, but Temu was really like owning the situation. So, yeah, Temu. They had probably the most consistent amount of ads on it. An online marketplace operated by Chinese e-commerce companies PDD Holdings. So watch out for them. It offers heavily discounted goods, which are mostly shipped to consumers directly from China. Well, it seems pretty par for the course, but clearly they've taken a lead here. But anyways, here's some more of the American propaganda. Now, why would anybody pay $40 million or whatever $1 million to get this played? Unless they were really up to something. They have to really be up to something to get this played on the Super Bowl.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart.
Now this one right here, Owen Benjamin had something hilarious to say about it. He noticed that in the bottom left corner, there were indeed rollerblades. He said, hilarious. They used roller skates to show how gay the Christians are in this ad. I feel like I definitely had a role in that. So funny. Washing the feet of a gay with sore feet from roller skating. Christianity trademark brought to you by Pfizer. Now let's go kill some god darn Muslims for rollerblading Jesus. And so yeah, that's a pretty good commentary to make about that. But anyways, let's keep playing this video. Jesus didn't teach hate. Okay. He washed feet. He also sucked dick and took it up the ass, and he did all this shit. I'm joking. I'm making a metaphor for the things that he actually didn't do, that they're trying to say that he did do. He did not accept all this degeneracy that was going around now. In fact, he flipped over the tables in the temples. He flipped over the tables of the money lenders and the money changers. All those people who are committing those sins. And even Judas, whose feet he washed, he still condemned him to hell for what he did.
We can live
Now, I do want to show you that I did cover this a long time ago. About 4 years ago, the George Floyd riots happened. And in one of my videos, I added in something about how the CEO of Chick-fil-A did the same thing and how pathetic it was. Okay, so this is in the context of the George Floyd riots just started happening. And this is how people were treating, like Christians, so-called, were treating black people. Watch.
Bit harder than that, Jacob. Take a couple notes from these guys.
What's your history, and what if the roles were reversed? You want to get fucked up tonight? Don't look at me in my eyes. What's wrong with you, son?
Now, if your white fragility makes you too sensitive to do slave reversal roleplay, you could always just scrub down on some nappy-headed toes. Even Dan Cathy, the CEO of Chick-fil-A, who once stood up against the LGBT menace, is now getting on his knees to polish off some no-name rapper.
I invite folks to put some words to action here. And if we need to find somebody that needs to have their shoes shine, we need to just go right on over and shine their shoes. And whether they got tennis shoes on or not, maybe they got sandals on, it really doesn't matter.
What in the fuck? This is the CEO of Chick-fil-A, you know? When you think it's based that you might be eating homophobic chicken, because when I think of Chick-fil-A, I think, oh great, this chicken is gonna be great because the owner, the CEO of it, is homophobic. So each bite has that great homophobic, hateful Christian taste that I really love. But then knowing that he got down on his knees and he started shining the shoes of this fucking... That just ruined... Spit it out. Spit it out. I no longer like Chick-fil-A. You know, I'm back to Bud Light again. Because Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney is a misogynist who makes women look bad. So I'm just going to keep drinking that. But at the end of the day, holy fuck, what is wrong with Christians? And the need to just wash everyone's feet and just to completely abandon all your principles and morals. It's fucking pathetic. And it seems like the mainstream media and the people who are funding this, which is Robert Kraft, some Jewish billionaire or multimillionaire, like, they think that they could really PSYOP people into, you know, Christianity is about loving everybody, and it is about loving everybody, but it's not about accepting sin. And it's not about denying reality. And the reality is that, like, if white people get replaced in America and in Western countries, then that's the end of America. That's the end of white people. It's white genocide. You know, this is PSYOP in order to gaslight people who understand white genocide and to prevent people from understanding that there is a white genocide going on. That's what it is at the end of the day. Blackpilled made a he posted a hilarious AI rendition of what what this commercial was like.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. I was there were there. Two worlds collided, and they would never tear us apart.
Sorry, you guys didn't see that. I'll put it full screen.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they would never tear us apart. We can live for 1,000 years.
Okay, I want to give some greater context onto what is going on with all of that. There's been a huge subversion within the evangelical Christian movement all throughout the 20th century, so all throughout the 1900s. And I think that these ads are specifically targeting like the remnants of all these Christians and all the descendants of the Christian founding stock that created America, whether it was Catholic, Protestant, whatever. They're trying to, take them to task. They're trying to manipulate their minds in order to accept anything, including all the degeneracy that's going on, all the LGBTQ plus stuff that's going on, and also, more importantly, all the mass immigration. So, I want to show you guys some evidence of that. So, Billy Graham has been basically the father of evangelical Christianity. So, those were evangelicals that were involved in that advertisement and the funding of it. And evangelicals have been largely co-opted by Jewish money. And that's the whole Christian Zionism PSYOP, the Judeo-Christian PSYOP that happened starting basically in the 18 and into the 1900s, became just a huge thing where now Christians are being paid in order to cover for Israel and all of Israel's atrocities that it commits in the Middle East. So they use like biblical scriptures and different verses to justify that like Israel is the homeland, and that there's all these prophecies that make it so that Israel always needs to be supported. Basically, all roads lead back to supporting Israel when you're dealing with these people and the way that they like construe all their logic, right? So Billy Graham, the father of evangelical Christianity. This article is by Eric Stryker, who did some great work on this. He says, as millions of Americans embraced the television medium, the potential for influencing public opinion enjoyed a massive growth spurt. Suddenly, the Jewish owners of three major broadcasting companies, ABC, CBC, and NBC, found themselves in possession of a monopoly over the American people's minds. These men would go on to manufacture the Pope of Judeo-Christianity, Billy Graham. By the end of his storied career, Graham was indeed only second to the Pope in terms of his influence on the 20th century world Christendom. And this ties in with what is going on with all these racial issues, because Martin Luther King, he is just as much as, like, even more so than, like, William Buckley Jr. or whoever else that is, like, a conservative, like Reagan or George H.W. Bush or whoever the fuck else conservatives see as, like, their forefathers, as the people who preceded them. Martin Luther King Jr. is what mainstream conservatives say is, like, oh, we're following the doctrine of Martin Luther King Jr. Well, he was also pushing a very subversive ideology where he was pushing for everybody to integrate together in a way that, caused ultimately a whole bunch of chaos. Now, Billy Graham was handled and controlled by the same people that were controlling Martin Luther King Jr. at the end of the day. And I think you guys could probably deduce what kind of influence, what ethno-cultural, religious influence was controlling and giving them their talking points. But let me just read this out. Graham and King were strange bedfellows, an alliance of convenience. Graham supported King's racial politics throughout his activist career, and both of them were fiercely pro-Israel. But aside from these superficial similarities, the two men promoted diametrically opposed political and religious programs on everything else. In King's theology, social gospel, Christian fulfillment was to be obtained through socio-political activism, while Graham promoted to whites the primacy of individual salvation. Graham was a fanatical supporter of the Vietnam War and an ally of big business, while King opposed the war and promoted left-wing economic policies. So it seems like it's kind of two sides of the same coin, but it's still in a controlled paradigm where they have both the leftists that identify more with King going more towards his side of things, and then Christians, it pushes them more towards individualism. Like, you'll have individual salvation, while Martin Luther King says black people need to coalesce with each other and they need to group together, and then white people also need to support us in our specific racial movement. So, who is losing in all of this? Seems like it's the white man that, is being left out in the dust and exposed to all these different vulnerabilities, right? The only connective tissue uniting King and Graham, who saw the civil rights movement through for its entire duration together, was New York Jewish media and money. By the way, Billy Graham was kind of like the leader of one side of the conservative white movement, implicitly and explicitly. And then you have Martin Luther King Jr. on the left, who is supposedly representing progress. And that canonization of who he was is now that is what the conservative movement is all about. They say that the conservative movement nowadays says that they're the true progenitors, they're the true descendants of Martin Luther King Jr.'s ideology. Well, I think that is the problem right then and there. That's the problem. So important Christian bodies that had previously worked with Jews on other political projects, such as the National Council of Churches, adamantly refused to take a position on the 1967 war. A prominent interfaith coordinator at the time, Rabbi Brickner, even remarked on the the spectacle of nearly total absence of visible support for the state of Israel during the hour of need. That is when Billy Graham came to push Christians off the fence. Graham's response to the ethical problems many Christians saw in supporting Israel's violent expulsions of Arabs and expansionism was to warn his followers that the Bible proclaimed Jews God's chosen people, and thus those who criticized the Zionist project were damned to fry in hell. Okay, wow. And you could see later on that Billy Graham and Richard Nixon, they got exposed through secret tapes that were recorded in Richard Nixon's office. Basically, what they exposed is that these two were talking together. So the president at the time and the top religious leader at the time were talking about how they knew that Jewish power and influence were overbearing and were controlling everything. And then Richard Nixon was like, "What? No, yeah, I know this. We can't talk about. Make sure nobody knows what you're talking about." So that was their primary concern. And then Billy Graham basically said that if I could do something about it, I would. But this is going to destroy America. And if I could do something about it, I would do something about it. And then Richard Nixon replied saying, "I agree, but don't tell anybody you know anything about this." And then after that, business went on as usual. They simped for the Israeli regime. In fact, Richard Nixon, he allowed all this air support to go towards Israel during the 1967 and onwards war that they had with Egypt, Palestine, all these different Arab countries. And he caused an oil crisis, which made it so that because America was supporting all this genocide that was going on in the Middle East, all the Middle Eastern countries boycotted America. And then oil prices just shot up by 3-4 times what they were before that. And that is the price to pay. We are going to keep on paying these prices economically and just in our souls for supporting this regime. We're not even supporting it, but we're tacitly supporting it by not doing something about it. So I just went off about the feet washing. There's one more commercial that I want to bring up to you guys. And it's what is it called again? Stand Up to Jewish Hate. So that is the organization that put out these commercials. Now, Stand Up to Jewish Hate, I don't think that they have 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars to put into this shit. But there's definitely a lot of organizations, like what I just described to you, that are willing to do something like that. So, let's look into it. Hold on, I just want all my screens to load to make sure that I'm not missing any super chats or anything, or missing any people saying anything in the chat. All right, here was the biggest commercial of the Super Bowl that a lot of people were talking about.
Sometimes I imagine what I'd write today for my dear friend Martin. I'd remind people that all hate thrives on one thing: silence. The people who will change the nation are those who speak out, who refuse to be bystanders, who raise their voices against injustice. When we stand up to silence, we stand up to all hate.
Paid for by Foundation to Combat Anti-Semitism by Robert Kraft. So, one of the world's billionaires.
Sometimes I imagine what I'd write today for my dear friend Martin.
And he claims that Clarence B. Jones was the writer for Martin Luther King's speeches. I thought Martin Luther King wrote his own speeches. Is that not one of the allures of him as being the civil rights icon? That he wrote his own fucking speeches?
Imagine what I'd write today for my dear friend Martin.
Damn.
I'd remind people that all hate thrives on one thing: silence. The people who...
And of course, another big thing that happened was...
I'd remind people that all hate thrives on one thing.
People screenshotted this, and then they started posting this hashtag, and it immediately got banned on Elon Musk's Twitter. So, goes to show you that maybe this was pre-planned, that this was pre-banned as they put this out at the Super Bowl. So, Twitter X, Elon Musk, the Super Bowl, the ADL, all these combat anti-Semitism, different NGOs, maybe they're all working together in some kind of effort. I don't know. But it is interesting that this was basically like banned before they even put this out there, and then they put it out there, and hashtag Hitler was right was already banned. And this is something that they put on TV in front of everybody. So,
silence.
Not just me imagining things.
The people who will change the nation are those who speak out, who refuse to be bystanders, who raise their voices against injustice. When we stand up to silence, we stand up to all hate.
Now, Vincent James did, he made a post exposing how, unsurprisingly, this organization won't say that it was a Jewish man, Stanley Levinson, who wrote most of Martin Luther King's speeches, not Clarence Jones. And now, you know, I could have imagined that, right? Just like they won't admit which group was really behind the creation of the NAACP, or King's events, Martin Luther King's events with the Rothschilds. So, there you have it once again. Now, here's another ad that this Combat Anti-Semitism company did. Now, apparently this was played at the Super Bowl. I didn't personally see it. I saw the other one live, but I didn't see this one. And you have Billboard Bitch over here from Canada saying, with this commercial, Robert Kraft has won the Super Bowl yet again. What? He made propaganda about Jews being victimized, and that's a win? And he's posting this video from Rabbi Shmuel Reichman. You know, Billboard Bitch has really taken a fall from grace. And he's become full Zionist. He went from being pro-protecting children to protecting children in the West, but advocating for the genocide of children in the Middle East, because that is what is happening with his careless opinions and need, you know, to be accepted by people like Rabbi Shmuel Reichman. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, either way, let's check out this commercial.
Hi, Mr. Tony. Mom, what's that?
Nothing. Just get in the car. Let's go.
Who did that?
Come on. Right now. In. Get in. Right now. Let's go.
Did you paint it or something?
Move it. Seatbelt on. Right now. Put your seatbelt on.
Hi, Mr. Tony. Mom, we're gonna be late. Hi, Mr.
There you go. You have it. Like, this is the dawn, the era of, yeah, Jews may actually be getting their shit, like, vandalized because of October 7th and all the Palestinians and different people who are from all these different countries that are sympathetic to the struggle, rightfully so, that is happening in Palestine. So, yes, you are increasing the hate that is coming against your group, and whether it's justified from person to person and they don't know how to distinguish between who is doing what or not, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they're just psyoping themselves in many ways too at the same time, like they always have. So I want to show you a parody video that somebody made.
Hi, Mr. Tony.
And I think they get it right at the end. 99% of hate crimes are committed by Jews against themselves. And you could go through the news and you could like go through the archival records and find many, many examples of that. And at the end of the day, the best example of that is how these Jewish groups and these people like Robert Kraft, Jewish multi-million billionaire, were able to pay for these ads. Meanwhile, in Rafah, like, Israelis killed, what, 96 Palestinian civilians. So they bombed, like, a whole city, and they fucked up a bunch of people, and that all happened while the Super Bowl was going on. And we were all distracted by Taylor Swift, by Travis Kelce, by all these different people, all these different pseudo-celebrities. Meanwhile, that was going on in the Middle East. And, of course, all the goy sloppers, all the average, like, we are more perceptive and we understand what's going on, but the average viewer is just bombarded by all this propaganda, including the stuff that says that in order to be a good Christian, they have to accept everybody, including all refugees, and wash their feet, which means that they need to welcome them all in and accept them with all their baggage, no matter who they are. That's what the propaganda is trying to tell them. And a lot of stupid people are not going to be able to tell that that is what they're being psyoped about. So, psyops galore. And I'm glad we got through it tonight. And I think I got through most of it tonight. I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat. 99%. That's pretty high. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to stand by that number. I don't think that it was peer-reviewed, let's just say. I think it was just a joke. But, no, I think there is some truth to it. Thank you, Lee, though. But anyways, that's all I really wanted to get through tonight. I'm glad you guys all hung out with me. You drank all these Bud Lights with me. And you endured me simping over Dylan Mulvaney. And I appreciate you all for that. And once again, I'm going to tell you guys that I am performing some... I will be hanging out, and you might see a special surprise if you come out to Danger Cats, Niagara Yuck Yucks, 7 p.m. on Friday, February 16th. So, if you bought tickets for another showtime, like whether it's on Friday or Saturday, call in and make sure that you get your tickets for Friday, February 16th at 7 p.m. Come hang out with us. It's going to be a great time. And I'm glad to see you all tonight. Thank you all for coming out to the show tonight. And I'll play you guys off with some music. What do we got here? Sorry guys, my computer is freezing up on me, but I'll get you guys some music in a second. Alright, cheers everyone.
This is your official cosign here on Edgy FM, coming in live on your air radio. How's the ratchet blowing? Fear the Brooklyn boys are back in town. So I'm gonna kick it over to my vanilla beat brother who you know gets down. You know he's doing his thing, edging that big old D, and that's self-fact Jack.
I guess they all heard that I'm edgy. I heard about was they wanna test me. My feet slipping into the Red Sea. I guess the niggas heard that I'm edgy. I guess they all heard that I'm edgy. Honey put boys wanna test me. Finish looking just like Wesley. It's flooding off some shirts that call me Gretzky. They're serving in these niggas 'cause I'm edgy. I just say you don't need any passes. You can do whatever you want. You can say nigger. You can say faggot. You can say kike. You could just say retard. You can say all the words. And that's why they call them edgy.